Hello, loyal fans and subscribers. Ninamori Fanboy here. This is the week number 7 battle in the PBF. I think it's 7. It might be 8. I think it's 7 though. This is against the Oklahoma City Thundurus. If you would like to see my team building video and you haven't, it's on my channel. I'll probably link it somewhere. Anyway, if you saw that, you'll know that's why I brought the team I brought. And as you can see, he brought some of the threats that I was expecting, like Mega Blaziken and Gyarados and Thundurus. But then he brought, and Tentacruel, but he didn't bring Trevenant, nor Mamo or Sneasel. Instead he brought Muck and Druddigon. So going into this, I thought I would have an easier time than I expected. So let's see if my original theory was true. Not original, but my assessment upon seeing his team. I lead with Swampert, as he leads with Tentacruel, which is a pretty good lead as long as he doesn't Scald Burn me. I go for Rocks, expecting him to either switch or stay in and Scald. He does switch out to Thundurus, which is good. Here, there's no reason for me to stay in. In the off chance he has HP Grass or Grass Knot or something, I just switch out to Blissey. And he does have the Grass Knot, so that's good. And it does a lot of damage for being a Blissey, because it was a crit, but it still did, relatively nothing. But when that happened, I'm like, wow, that does a lot to Blissey. Blissey doesn't even weigh a lot, it's not stab. But then it was revealed to be a crit, so everything's fine. So he goes back out to Tentacruel as I Ice Beam. Probably could have predicted that switch, but I didn't need to really. I guess I didn't want him to be a setup Thundurus. So he does go out to Tentacruel, and now he will get a free spin. So using that, keeping that in mind, I go out to Latios, expecting even if he does Scald, predicting my Swampert, then, the burn won't be that detrimental against Latios. So he does spin, but now I got off a free Psyshock. He decides to switch to Gyarados. Gets an Intimidate off, that doesn't matter though. This Life Orb Psyshock is easily a 2-hit KO. But I didn't see any leftovers, and I knew it wasn't Mega, so I was actually fearing the Scarf, which is why I switched out to Granbull. There was no reason to risk staying in. Latios was too important. So he goes for Ice Fang, and I thought he would probably be Scarfed, but here he switches up moves, so he wasn't Scarfed, and I could have stayed in and just Psyshocked again, but, better safe than sorry, I thought, so I pretty much did sack my my Granbull right there, but at least it wasn't my Latios. So Muck comes out at this point. I figured I didn't need my Granbull, so he goes for Gunk Shot and actually misses. Then I go for Earthquake, and yeah, I got a crit. So he missed, I crit, so that's pretty unfortunate. So I do just stay in again as he goes for that Gunk Shot. And it would have taken out my Granbull, as you can see. I actually didn't expect Muck to outspeed Granbull, which is why not why I stayed in, but if I knew Muck outsped, I probably would have done something else originally. But then after the crit and him missing, I felt bad and stayed in. So he protects as I go for Stealth Rock, which is incredible. Then I just go for Scald, and okay, that does take the Muck out. I half predicted Thundurus to come out. Tentacruel comes out though, which is fine by me because I'll just be able to fire off an Earthquake as he opts to go for Rapid Spin. And Earthquake almost takes it out. I decide here to go for another layer of, or not another layer, but Stealth Rock, because I'm slower than him, so he'll have to waste a turn rapid spinning, which I can then Earthquake him. Here he decides to go out to Thundurus, though, predicting my Earthquake, but as I said, I went for Rocks again. And I switch out again to probably Blissey. Oh, Latios. In case he had Aura Sphere or Focus Blast or something. I don't think it can learn Aura Sphere, but Focus Blast. But he does go for Grass Knot, and it does like even less to Latios than it did to Blissey. So I do just go for Ice Beam. I knew it would OHKO, and it does, no surprise. Latios looking a little low though. As Blaziken comes out, I didn't know if it would have Protect or not, so I stayed in and went for whatchamacallit, Psyshock. And he does have Protect, so I figured that would at least limit his move pool. He'd probably have a Fighting move, a Fire move, Protect, and Knock Off. So Hitmontop would be a pretty safe switch, especially after an Intimidate. Because some Blazikens have Brave Bird, and that's always bad. But I figured with Protect, he probably didn't have it. So I went into Hitmontop. He does go for Knock Off. Does hardly anything. And, looking good right now. I'll be able to use this Earthquake. As he switches into Druddigon. Takes some rock damage. Takes that Earthquake very well. And I withdraw into Blissey, okay. As he goes for Dragon Claw. At this point I figured I didn't really need Blissey. That Dragon Claw did a lot of damage though. Not even gonna lie. I go for Thunder Wave expecting him to go out to Blaziken, predicting my Ice Beam again. But he stayed in, so I just paralyzed this Druddigon when I could have KO'd it, but whatever. I mean, not KO'd, but did enough damage to the point... Well, you'll see what I mean. So here I go out to Latios, and I didn't want to click Draco because of the potential to miss and then, lowering my special attack 2 stages. So I go for Ice Beam thinking I would take it out, but he lives on a sliver. That's why I said if I went for Ice Beam with Blissey, that would have been good. But I really expected him to switch to Blaziken, expecting my Ice Beam. But he didn't, and I lost my Blissey and my Latios to this Druddigon. Finally, I'm able to send in Swampert, click Earthquake. Then he goes out to Tentacruel, and I'll be able to Earthquake this thing. He opts to spin away rocks instead of, trying to go for Scald Burns or anything, which, to each their own. I'm not saying I would want to rely on getting a Scald Burn, because, I still do have 3 pokes left, but his Blaziken, if it would have came in on rocks, it would have taken, 12%, so, it could have been beneficial either way, but since I had Hitmontop and he didn't have Brave Bird, I felt, I was good either way, so it really didn't matter, and he did try to go for Protect there to get a speed boost. Here he just goes for Blaze Kick. Doesn't do much as I go for Earthquake expecting to take it out. And I don't because he didn't, come in on rocks. So, it worked out for him, sorta. So, I can't say anything about anything. He missed his Blaze Kick in the end, but as you can see, unless he crit me or burnt me, even if he burnt me, I still would have taken him out with anything. I still had my Greninja untouched, so yeah, that was the battle against the Thundurus. I was quite happy when I saw he didn't have Trevenant, and happier when I pulled out the victory. So yes, that was the week, I think it's 7, battle in the PBF. Thank you for watching the video and look forward to the upcoming weeks. We're closing in, like, towards the end of the season, so hopefully I'll maintain this perfect record as long as possible. I already said thanks for watching, but have a good day, guys.